Oh, we got an audience question.
Yeah, let's talk to some
question.
folks out in the crowd. Who y'all got for us?
Hey, it's Andrew.
Hey, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
Just figured I'd ask a question about the, I guess, more recent apologetics for primarily for Christianity, but I'm sure it applies to pretty much every monotheism. But why is it that they feel like the likes of William Lane Craig and Frank Turk, are just two that I know for sure, that run this philosophical argument about just the possibility of a deistic God, and then think that's sufficient to bring themselves to the eventuality of their particular God? Why do they find that to be sufficient?
That's actually not new. There's no new apologetic questions anymore. They're all about 100 years old. William Lane Craig did put lipstick on a pig, but that's about all he's really done with that. I don't know, because they're trying to get to a point where you can admit that there's this, and then they can start building on it. So if you can admit to a deistic God, then they can build to their God, which is what William Lane Craig does with the Kalam argument, right? Mm-hmm. Is the Kalam argument is 3 sentences, and then all of a sudden we get to God. Right. And God's not mentioned anywhere else in any of those things. Neither are any of the qualities that he says God has. And so that's basically what they're trying to do. It's the same tactic, right? If they can get you to admit to the possibility of a deistic God, and then they're one step closer to getting to their version of a God. That's all it is. It's a stepping stone.
If I just find it odd that even some atheists give those types of arguments credence.
Well, the deistic God is the hardest to talk about because he has no qualities and he has no interactions with the universe, and therefore he is effectively the same thing as nothing, as no God at all, right? And so how do you talk about a God like that? We can't say that God has blue eyes. We can't say that God has eyes or has any sensory apparatus whatsoever. That God is, as I said, indistinguishable from nothing. So how do we talk about him?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they can get there, then they will try and stair step their way to their God, who actually has things that we can start talking about. Right? Is the God omnibenevolent? Well, we can look around the world and go, no, that's not possible. Right? Because there are things we're doing right now. We look at disease, and if you want to say disease is evil, we're getting rid of disease. We're getting rid of that as every chance we get, right? We've gotten rid of smallpox, and we got rid of, we almost got rid of polio. It's back apparently. But we can look at diseases. We can look at, we're in an air-conditioned building, and it's hot and humid outside, and we're not hot and humid. Well, you guys aren't. We're a little hot in here. We don't have any AC or much AC in here right now. And so everything that we do, we are actively making our world better. And an omnibenevolent God, who's also omnipotent, should have already done this. We shouldn't live on a planet that, 70% of it will kill us. Salt water and all the rest of that. So, yeah, it's just stair-stepping. They're just trying to get you to agree to something, and that's why you have to be careful when they start this questioning approach, is because they're building on your acceptance of certain things without you really critically thinking about how you're going to respond to it. And so that's also part of the trap that they're laying with a questioning type of conversation. And that's very different than straight epistemology, which is asking open-ended questions, not questions you're trying to get them to lead them down.
Leading answer, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and not for nothing, but if we can tie a deistic notion of God to the Christian God, then all of a sudden, all of our nationalistic fervor around the founding fathers and the original intent of the Constitution and all of that starts to fall apart. So I think that there's a meaningful temptation from a lot of folks to try and make deism synonymous with Christianity, which of course it isn't,
yeah.
But by drawing that comparison over and over and over, all of a sudden, Benjamin Franklin switching sides, and so much of our understanding of America starts to shift in some very specific ways.
I guess just a short follow-up to that is, I noticed that there hasn't ever been an actual argument as to why God would be good.
Yeah,
it's always just asserted.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think that. I think the only argument that I can remember offhand is William Lane Craig saying that God has to be worthy of worship. But I mean, I don't see why they couldn't just be a conquering God that was just all powerful and could just as well be evil and be worth worship to some.
Yeah, that word "worthy." I mean, all of it is. It's just a house of cards. It's just random things sort of plucked from the zeitgeist that we would really like to be true, or some of us would really like to be true, and then trying to stack it up.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, glad to hear from you.
Yeah.